Hello everyone. As we already discussed, there is a Bean frameworks are there. How you can simply create a Java application with the help of Spring framework, and we also discussed the Spring Bean lifecycle. So let us quickly revise it. In Spring Bean lifecycle consists of basically two important method, which I mentioned in a Bean tag, init dash method and a destroy dash method as a parameter. So basically it having two callbacks: init method, public void init, and second method is a destroy method. So in our previous lecture we discussed three different steps. So let us revise it. We created the first step, we created Java Bean class as a hello world, which having one property as a string msg, having some setter and getter method, and having two method init and destroy one. So here the second step will be we need to make entry in a bean.xml file. So here we are having id is a s2, class is a com.helloworld, init method, destroy method. So what does it means? When the bean is initialized, they are referring this tag property init dash method. They mention here init method going to call. They goes to which one? Init method. The first line must be calling init method. Whenever bean work is over, they are calling a destroy method. So their answer must be this one, calling destroy method. So now last thing is we need to create as a test1.java. As we already said how it could be created. So what happen in it? So once you load this particular bean.xml file, you need to get bean information through its ID. So here the hello world Java bean having a ID as s2. So you need to write here hello world h1. You need to do typecasting context.getBean. The ID must be s2. So now I am again able to call the method of the Java bean h1.getMessage, h1.setMessage, and once I write context.register shutdown hook, they are calling a destroy method. So I save my application here. So I am running this application test1.java, and as you will see, the first method is calling init method, then hello spring, then the calling destroy method. So there is a important thing is required in a Spring Bean life cycle. Sometime if you are once you running a test1.java and you will get the error like this, unable to load test1.java file. That kind of error might be generated. At the time what you can do, you just click on project and do the clean and build, and again execute the code. Then this particular error will be removed. So now in this lecture we going to learn a most important and the heart of the Spring framework is a dependency injection feature. Dependency injection is our design pattern that removes the dependency from the programming code so that it can be easy to manage and test the application. Dependency injections makes our program code loosely coupled. So no any code is depend upon each other. So there are two ways to perform a dependency injection in a Spring framework, by using a constructor and by using a setter method that helps to inject a dependency. Clear? So let us referring what is the meaning of dependency injection. So let us refer the portion of a dependency injection. Yes. So understand carefully what is a dependency injection. Dependency injection is a design pattern, as we all know, that removes some dependency from the programming code, right? So let us take one example of it. See this program code carefully. I just maximize it. From this one, what you will see, it having two different classes I mentioned in this example. Public class text editor and the private class is a spell checker. So once you initialize a constructor text editor, they are calling which one? Spell checker, new spell checker. Okay? So well done, we here create a dependency between a text editor and spell checker. So In an inversion of control scenario, IOC container, what we can do instead of this? What we can write? Text editor. I am passing this spell checker in a constructor. So they make code not dependent upon the spell checker. Whenever you calling text editor, they are calling the spell checker directly. The text editor does not worry about what spell checker will do, or any modification spell checker will be used by the text editor easily. Clear? So how you can use these scenarios? So let's see the dependency lookup. Dependency lookup is an approach where we get the resource after demand. There can be various ways to get the resource. In this example you will see we are having two different classes, AIMPL. So what I am trying to call it, when I create a class object, I am calling which constructors? A implementation constructors. So such a way we get the resource of instance of A directly by new keyword by the another factory method. So that is a constructor is a method one kind of the another class. So that is kind of programming is what? A code dependent programming. Here A class is depend upon the AIMPL implementation. Clear? So sometime what we need to use it, sometime like that statement you will see. Everybody know whenever I create any static method. So how you can call static method in a program? Without object you can create, or if you want to refer outside of the class you need to use a class name dot method name. So in this way we will get the resource a dot get a. So by calling a static method which is the get a by the instance of the a. So problem of what is dependency lookup? There are basically two problems for dependency lookup. Tight coupling, the dependency lookup approach make the code tightly coupled code. If you change any resource it will be reflected by this code. Means if I do modification in implementation of IMPL it will be reflected in OBJ also. Clear? Another not easy for testing. Sometimes it is very difficult to test our code when dependency of the code will be there. So what is dependent injection is nothing but a design pattern that removes the dependency among the code. To make your code loosely coupled code, so let's take one example of it, you will get more idea about it. So I am taking one example here, class employee, which having one another class address. So what happened in this case, I am creating two different way. I created one constructor and one method. When you execute an employee class, at that time employee constructor and set address call by default? It will call automatically? No. When you create instance of employee which passes some parameter, at that time this constructor is going to call. Or whenever you are calling a set address method, at that time this constructor is going to call. So they are not depend upon each other. Here address class is not depend upon the employee class. Clear? But if I am write down like this, I write down in notepad with the same example. But if I am write down like this, employee object is E equals to new address. If I am working like this way, so this code is a not loosely coupled code. This code is a tight coupled code. Why? Because tightly coupled code. Why? Because this E object is depend upon the address class. If I do any modification in address object, that might be reflected in a E object. Clear? To make this dependency injection, we have to create two different way. Either you can use constructor by take as a parameter of address, or you can use a setter method which take address as a parameter. Clear? So in such case, instance of address class is provided by the external source. Right? There are two ways to perform dependency injection in a Spring framework, by setter method and by constructor. Let's take one example of dependency injection by the constructor. So what you need to make it? You need to just create a simple class as a JavaBean class that you can do by yourself. You can write any JavaBean class here. Then you can write a beans XML file. You can make entry of the bean ID and the class information having some arguments, and then you provide a test file which able to load XML file and execute this show method. Clear? So how you can work with the setter method? In a setter method, what you need to do? You need to create a class with using a setter methods, set city, get city, and so on. Clear? And in case of a constructor, what you need to make as a Java Bean class? In Java Bean class, you need to make as a constructor base. So dependency injection is a one kind of fundamental which helps to perform to make a class as a loosely coupled coding. So inversion of control and dependency injection is done automatically by the Spring framework to make a code reusable by the dependency injection feature. Clear? So IOC, so Spring IOC with the IOP. IOC is a container which provide a bean lifecycle management having some setter based and constructor based dependency injections. It also provide ASP.NET programming features. Clear? So what is Spring IOC? Inversion of control. Dependency injection means if there are found some beans define the dependency through the constructor argument or some property setters method. The container provide the injection at the runtime. So whenever the demanding of the bean will be arises, at that time the dependency injection will resolve the issue of it. Decouple the object creators and locator from the application logic. And easy to maintain and reuse the code. Testing is easier in a inversion of control. It will separate all the layers. So IOC is nothing but a one kind of a Spring container. So Spring container having so many metadata information which loads the Java Pojo classes and helps to make a bean lifecycle performing here in a Spring container and generate a final result which is ready to use with the application. So IOC is nothing but a one Spring container. They are managing a Spring lifecycles. As a Pojo classes will be put in a Spring container here, and they do the lifecycle of Spring in each method, destroy method, and then after generate a final result which is ready to use with the application. So in the next lecture we will see what is the Spring AOP, but before we will see some of the package of it. Spring provide the following two distinct type of container. First is a bean factory, and already we use this container in a program, application context. So you can do Spring program with the two different way. Either you can work with the bean factory or you can work with the application context. But application context is the easiest way to perform a Spring programming. So bean factory is having a package org.springframework.beans.factory.star, and we already in a two different program. Application context is nothing but a one kind of IOC container. The Spring container is nothing but a core of a Spring framework. The container will create an object, wire them together, configure them, and manage their complete bean lifecycle from creation till destruction. The Spring container uses dependency injection to manage the component that make up an application, and these objects are called Spring beans, Pojos. Right? Spring bean, Pojo, Java bean, that all are the name you can refer. Pojo means plain all Java object. So what is a Spring bean? So what is a bean definition? So as we all know, whenever we create any Java bean, we make entry in which file? Beans.xml file. Right? You can create any XML file. Just you need to right click on the source package and new. You need to select the Spring XML configuration file. Okay? So what are the information stored in a one bean? That they are storing the ID, they are storing a class, they are storing a init dash method and destroy dash method. Clear? So typically a string bean with the unique ID will be there. You will see here in a program we already discussed this ID S2 as a unique ID. Clear? Then Spring there are basically two types, singleton and prototype. One instance of bean will be created whenever we request, each time it will be created. Or prototype matlab new beans created each time. So there are two different ways, singleton and prototype. Singleton is already one time is created, whenever requested it will be loaded. And prototype, it create whenever use request, it create initializing a new creations. So beans are normally created by the Spring as late as possible. The Spring definitions consist of several attributes: class, fully qualified class we are written, ID, constructor argument you can write. We already discussed init method and destroy method, right? So that kind of configuration you can set with the bin definition, typically defined in which file? XML file. In this manner we already done with it. Clear? The Spring Bean Factory is again a core of a Spring framework, which is a lightweighted container. There is basically a Spring framework having two containers. One is a Spring Bean Factory, another is Spring Application Context. It avoids the use of singleton and factories, and Spring uses a bean factory to create and manage and locate beans, which are basically instances of a class. So Spring Application Context having these features. This slide you need to remember for the programming. A Spring Application Context allow you to get access to the object that are configured in a bean factory in a framework manner. Application context extend bean factory. Several way to configure a context. We already used this second one. Class path XML application context, which used to load XML file. You can also work with XML application context and file system XML application context. So in the next lecture we will see how you can work with the Spring aspect oriented programming. Thank you very much.